I guess this isn't for me. It's doing the thing. Oh my God. Yes. Have I mentioned I have zero spatial awareness? Put my whole Beetlejuice into it. Oh, hi. Welcome to Sewing Nerd Studios. I'm Jo, and this week we're doing a sewing project, if you can believe it. I really want to work through my works in progress / repair / alterations / this needs to get hacked up and turned into something else pile from my closet overhaul video earlier this year, a month ago, 2 months ago, sometime. I initially started out working on perfecting the shorts patterns I was noodling around with a couple summers ago, because I really didn't hone in on anything with that, but there were elements of each pair that I liked and didn't like, so I need to just like ruminate on that a little more. And while I was daydreaming about what to make, I remembered that I had this fabric, meaning I left it in a pile in my own way on my cutting table, specifically so I wouldn't forget that there's a project I want to do with it. So it's really great size stripe material. It's black, but then like a heathered gray for the off stripes. They're about 1 inch wide each. It is supposed to go this way, but there's a project I desperately want to try that the Stitchery posted. I think her name's Charlie. It's so flattering. It's the prettiest and most, like, I'm a stripes girl. Almost always across, but I don't hate a pinstripe. Also, is pinstripe exclusive to the size of it or just the direction? I feel like I should know this. The thing about this fabric is it's only 45 inches wide. So that's a bummer because I really wish it was 60 so I could make like a nice long dress like Charlie has. And I think that it's about 2 yards long. Straight size person, privilege time, like I'm gonna be able to still make something out of this being 45 inches around. So whatever amount of fabric you're getting, you need twice what you would normally get because this is getting compressed basically in half. Oh, it's gonna look so good. So after finding this fabric, once I decided this is in fact a project I really, really want to do, I started thinking about, well, how do I want it to go together as far as like the rest of the dress? Because like the waist, obviously we'll have that situated, but for the neck and the shoulders and whatever. And then I remembered this other striped shirt that I made based off some design by an old How Stuff Works podcast host. There was like a Stuff You Never Learned in History class, and then there was like a pop culture version of it. The first podcast I ever got into was called Stuff Mom Never Told You. That is still living on in a form called Unladylike, but specifically Kristen Conger was the first podcast host I ever got into, and I have been shaped a lot by that over many, many years of listening. I like educational podcasts to start with, and then, you know, throw some feminism in there. I'm on board. Anyways, not talking about Kristen Conger, Holly Fry is the name of one of the podcast hosts from the history one. She like made Pee Wee Herman's chair, right? It's not a couch, it's a chair. It was not a show I watched very often. The one time I tried watching Pee Wee Herman, there was just close-up footage of a German Shepherd eating wet canned dog food out of a bowl, and the noise made me want to die. So I was like, I guess this isn't for me. My God. Anyway, there's a shirt Holly Fry posted at least 10 years ago, if not more, probably closer to 15. And I did a shirt based on her idea where she took 2 strips of fabric and combined it in such a way that it like made a really nice neckline. And I think that's going to make this project really easy. I'm really looking forward to testing the combination of these projects out. I will link to the original video. This is a long preamble to explain a lot of different tendrils of my creative life, both stuff I've done and like absorbed from other people, are all combining together to make potentially a really awesome outfit. So fingers crossed this works. I'm gonna try to keep it as like basic and simple as possible, and I'm probably not gonna hem the bottom. I will probably hem the neckline, but not the sleeves, the non-sleeves. First things first is cutting this whole thing in half along the stripes. So I'll have 2 long pieces and then we're gonna have to do some draping, which is not a fitting style I do very often, but I'm like very much looking forward to it. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. Okay, let's go. Okay, so once I got it split in two, I found the center top, which is going to be the shoulder, not seam, but where the shoulder is going to be. And then I just kind of guessed how far down the front and back I wanted the seam to go as far as the neck hole. And then I put those edges together, and this is where it would be easier to do this with a woven. I don't know how to go about that though, but that would make this part way easier because knits, especially droopy, drapey knits, are really hard to manage, especially with stripes and straight lines. I did my best to stitch along the edge of the black stripes, like just inside. I have my zipper foot on. It's a Teflon zipper foot, and I'm basically just going to use that all the time. I'm not worried about the fact I'm using a straight stitch machine because typically you do a zigzag when you're dealing with stretch knits, but also the seams are going to be cleaner if they are straight stitches versus zigzags, because if you've ever tried to open up a seam after zigzag stitching it, obviously the seam is like bouncing back and forth from side to side to make the zigs and the zags, and that doesn't make for clean lines. So because it's very wibbly and perhaps wobbly, not very timey-wimey though, I'm definitely going to have to go back and correct instances like this where you can see a little bit of the gray threads through it. I feel like I'm going to be correcting a lot of things like that. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm not super worried about these looking perfect. So as long as it's only black showing across the waist that I'm creating, I'm not gonna be a super stickler for everything being like exactly the right width. I tried to pin. It's difficult even when you're pinning to get these to line up, and then pins don't like to stay in knits like this. So it's gonna be an uphill battle the whole time. This is gonna take a while. So I just subscribed to Dropout. I treated myself to an annual subscription to that after I forgot to cancel after doing the trial run, which I'm not mad about. Like, I want to support that company. And there's a Hank Green comedy special that I might rewatch because that's what got me to do the trial in the first place. And I'm really looking forward to just the rest of the stuff. I am very much enjoying the whole cast of characters, and just knowing, like, when the strike was happening last year, the people that run Dropout heard the demands of the employees and were like, yeah, totally, we got you. And then just met them without fighting them or making them jobless for months and months and months. So that's what we like to see. All right, I am sweating. I turned the fan down in the background, but certainly was not willing to turn it off. So apologies if you hear that in the background and it's bothering you. Just trying to survive out here, you know? Speaking of survival, I should probably eat something. I did do some sales at the market I did yesterday. By the way, did a market yesterday. It was fine. These are the organizers that booked another market the same day in a different location, and that made me really mad. And it affected the crowd that came to ours, I believe. A lot of people are on vacation this week because it's leading up to the 4th, so like, I'm sure it wouldn't have been an outstanding attendance to start with. But I was still able to cover twice my table cost, which I feel like that's a fine bar for me to cross. Because it also covers the, like, I don't know, less than $5 I paid in parking, and it was about like a 35-minute drive to get there. But I'm trying to allow myself to not just put every single cent I make into more materials and whatever, and like let myself get takeout once in a while. That feels like such an indulgence. But then when it's coming up to my dinner time, I'm really bad at feeding myself when I'm not in charge of feeding anybody else. So I don't want to just end up eating cereal for dinner. And I don't really know what I'm craving. You know what? You know what's a good middle ground compromise here is if I get the like quick serve takeout at the grocery store, and that will also be a less expensive option, and then I won't feel like such a bag of shit. Why are brains like this? I'm obviously trying to work on it, but goddamn, because I wouldn't even have entertained that idea in previous years. Speaking of survival, why is it so hard to feed yourself when you get an ADHD brain? Because genuinely is one of my biggest daily struggles. Not every day. Sometimes I have an insatiable appetite, but days like today, especially when it's really hot, I am less hungry, but then I feel like shit if I don't eat enough, and especially like getting enough protein and stuff like that, not just snack eating. So then that's just my whole day, and then I feel even worse because like blood sugar levels are all over the place, and it's a bad time. Anyway, I'm gonna eat, and that will give me the brain fuel to get these stripes together and maybe actually have the motivation to finish this project today, because it's like, oh, it's like multiple hours later than I thought it was. It's like 5:30. Maybe it won't happen tonight, but I will make some headway. Whatever I get done today is less I'll do tomorrow. So that's something. Let's nourish our meat sacks and drink some water. As I said, it's hot out, so extra drink some water. fine to start while I'm trying to sit outside, so let's move it back inside. Okay, so I was getting really frustrated trying to stitch over it on the machine because it was just hard to like keep track of what I was looking at, and I tried pinning while I was sewing, and then I realized like it's nice out this week. Let's just sit outside and hand baste this. And I did it in like chunks because there were 44 stripes I ended up basting down. So I still have to do the machine stitching for the rest of these. Like, this is what it looks like from the outside. Not great at the moment, but it's gonna look good. So, yes! The section I did stitch, it's doing the thing! Oh my god. Like, can we talk about this? Are you kidding me? This feels like magic. This feels like absolute sorcery. Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna machine stitch down the other sections. It should go pretty quick because everything's basted in place, but I also like don't want to rush it. I just want to make sure it's all looking nice. Then I think we have to add pockets. I think I'll be upset if this doesn't have pockets, and because it's such a big flowy dress, I think that shouldn't be a problem, and it'll have side seams, so I don't see that being an issue. Oh, cool. This feels really good. All right, I'm gonna put on a podcast and knock out the rest of this. Man, sewing is neat. I love the effect that gives. It's so nice. And then, yeah, I just made a really really easy neck hole by having the two separate pieces. The thing is, I thought I was gonna need more fabric than this. Ooh. Just my alarm reminding me to do something that I keep ignoring, but that's what the snooze button's for. I think what I need to do is stitch along the black lines on either side, like the end of the solid chunk, and then see how that's fitting, and then go from there. I think I want to stitch this down so it's black along the edge. Easy enough. And that'll hem that. I'm just going to leave the sides raw and the bottom raw, I think. I guess I'll assess how it looks. Oh, you know what? I should figure out, this will be helpful. I should figure out how far up I want it to close for like my arm, you know, like how big of a hole I need, because I mean, I guess I could just have it there. It's not going to be as wide. It's going to be like this. So if I stop it at the same point, let's give it a shot. We can tweak if we need to as we go along. Where are we at? How is this? Oh, right. I was like, there's a lot of bulk around here, but it's because I have all of this fabric flipped to the inside. If nothing else, I might take it in. So I think it's safe to cut the excess off, fit it again, and then actually I think I need to get ready to go to the farmer's market that I'm working this afternoon. I'm already dressed, and like I did my hair and everything, so I'm not worried. I already did groceries today. I ate. Should probably eat more, although I'll be at a farmer's market, so there will be food. There's a Dominican empanada pop-up that's always there, and they really get me through the summer. Okay, so listen, the thing definitely happened that I knew was gonna happen, though I'm not even sure how, which is I ended up off by one stripe at some point with something I did. But we're gonna see how noticeable it is, and if it's not an issue, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm already seeing where the issue is, but it's probably fine. If it's on the backside, that's not a me problem. Okay. Okay, how's this? Yes. Yes. I don't know, I think I love it. If it went in a little more, that would also cut a little more off here. Like, I would like this to be shorter. And then I could potentially fix that off stripe situation where this is it. It's just this little bit of gray. That's the only like problem it's causing. Yeah, I think I want less here, but I don't have time to futz with that right now. So I was hoping to have this done today, but you know what? I got a lot of other errands done working not for me today. So it's not like I'm slacking off. And also it's acceptable to just like chill sometimes. Oh, and I can't forget pockets. Don't let me forget pockets. I desperately need more water. Okay, hi. It's a few days later. It's almost like a week later. And real talk, I've just been having a hard time existing. It's really hot. I have felt terrible. I'm already very sensitive to the heat. And then the meds I'm on make me even more sensitive to the heat. And we don't have air conditioning. And I can only be in the pool so much. I gave myself a sunburn by being outside so much. So like, I hate summer for a reason. Like, yes, I can go to a coffee shop and edit or whatever and treat myself with a couple bucks out in the wild like that, or even go to the library and not spend any money. But I can't haul my industrial over there, and then things like this project that turns into like a noodling session, I can't really do out in the wild, even if I'm hand sewing a bunch of stuff. For example, the sleeve, non-sleeve, I don't know what's happening. I don't see myself wearing this much if this is out like this. So I tried bunching it up. I think I need like a middle ground. I think I need to leave it a little wider, but still have it gathered up top, you know? I was gonna do it with like ribbon wrapped around, but that's not really my style. Maybe I can make like a little fabric toggle and wrap it around, almost making like an epaulette. I don't know. I just used really thick thread and kind of wove through this so it still is only the black showing up here. I don't know. I mean, I guess that looks nice with it all black up there. I was trying to kind of mimic what's happening down here. I have not added pockets yet. Part of me wants to just skip it because like I can't get myself to do it, and that's part of what's been putting me off working on this project as a whole, and I was ready to abandon it, to be honest. I don't know if that's just the shit headspace I'm in. Yes, seasonal depression exists, but I also have regular all year round depression. So it'll flare up. My body has been hurting a lot, speaking of flare-ups, so like, sorry to make this like whiny hour. I just, I'm having a hard time coping with life at the moment. So I have a lot to get done this week. It's Monday. It's the 8th of July. I did just pack all my Patreon stuff where I made little packages. You'll hopefully have these by the time this video is up, but jump ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want it to be spoiled. I made new stickers with my new logo. I tweaked it a little bit. Let me show you. So the file I have is like the white text with black around it, and then the space is kind of around the rest of it. So it's like a square or rectangle, and then it's just like the logo in the middle. But I thought it would be cool because I wanted to include the space somehow, but I didn't want square stickers. Made like a second round of a border and then deleted the space in between, added the galaxy background kind of like in the middle there. I don't know. I really like how it came out. So it still has a little bit of it, but also has like a nice black border to it. So this is in here, and because it's got like creatures and cryptids and such involved in that logo, I wanted to send along some of the keychain bags that I printed with my like cryptids / woodland critter designs, like the lino blocks I printed. I really like the series I did, so I had them set aside for the mail time perk folks. But it also occurred to me like, oh, well, what happens if like a 7th person signs up? Then not everybody will be getting the same thing. Not that everybody's getting the same thing. Usually when I send something out like this, it's a similar theme, but usually it's like made with that specific person in mind, or like selected for them. Because thankfully, so many of you have been around for so long that like, I think I have a general idea of what you'll be more excited about out of the choices. So yeah, I hope you like the little guys. And hey, it's because of everybody over on Patreon that I get to be a non-functional slug for a few days. It was the holiday weekend as well, and normally we don't do anything for it. I usually go visit friends, but that didn't happen because I also had to do some work for the brewery. My partner and I don't often get a lot of like downtime together and like multiple days in a row to just veg out. So that was really nice. We swam a lot just to like keep our body temperature down, and we brought Bert in the pool, and he got Bert a little floaty, like a baby pool inflatable thing. It's so cute. It looks like a little seal, and we'll probably take him in it again this afternoon, because even just standing here without the fan blasting on me, I've been spritzing myself with some water, basically making my body sweat before it sweats. So it's just, I'm getting misted. It has genuinely been very helpful. So I have that going and keeping me cool. Back to the dress though. I think I'm gonna noodle with this a little bit more and figure out the sleeve situation. Yeah, I think I want this to be a little wider, so just spread this out a bit. I think it'll be okay. And then, even though this is nice and light and flowy, I could take this in a little more, and then this will be, you know, one section shorter. Yeah, I don't know. I both do and don't want to add pockets. I feel like I am actively disappointing you all by not putting pockets in it. We'll see what happens. I'm giving myself till the end of the day to get this done. It's like 1 o'clock right now. It only just like yesterday occurred to me that if it's too short, I can add fabric to it, where I kept thinking like, I don't want to add a panel of the strip. Like, you're going to see a line across and it's going to look stupid. And I was getting really in my head about it. But then I realized I can color block a panel at the bottom like I've done a bunch of other times. It's the quickest and like most aesthetically pleasing way to lengthen this. And then I will absolutely wear it more if it's longer. And this will help weigh it down a bit. It's just this narrow scrap of knit. I think I'm going to cut it in half so it'll be like not the full height of this, but like this tall, and then have it go across the bottom, and that'll make it a perfect length. It won't be too long. It'll help weigh the rest of this down because this is super lightweight, but this has a little bit more heft to it, and I think that will make this into something that I will in fact wear. I restitched the center seams, and I like how those came out, and then I did hem that inner edge. But I didn't hem that. I think I'm going to leave the sleeve side raw, you know? And then like have it be like maybe this wide across, like from here to here, something like that. I don't know. And then I have a like fun makeup idea I want to try later. I did paint my nails. I kind of hate it. I used like 98-cent bottles of LA Colors, I think. And like, it's fine now that I put clear coat on it, but the color is going to work for the costume situation I'm doing, like the purple, but it's a very like warm toned purple, and it's not really my thing. So it'll work for what we're planning today, but for my general use, not really my thing. The stinky little guy wanted to greet his people. Can you tell I'm a little discombobulated, a little like out of sorts? Let's take some craft time, keep it low pressure, but also like I want to have this done today, because it's bothering me that it's been taking me this long. So, what do you think, Bubs? Yeah, I know, it's hot. I might go point another fan at him because he's just been curled up on the couch. He actually doesn't feel too hot. Like, if it's at night and his tummy feels really warm, I'll just take a face cloth and soak it in some cold water and then just like hold it on his belly, and that seems to cool him down. Yeah, I know, you got crap teeth. I'm sorry, baby. They sticking out? You showing them your little fang? What's that tooth doing? Got the other side too? A little bit? My stinky old man. All right. Okay. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna make this dress. We're gonna start editing this video and get it up in time for Friday, the day you're seeing this. I swear to God, it's gonna go up in time. But I also have to make a whole Yacht Rock trivia game. And I got a bunch of different CDs from the library with which to make the audio rounds, and I'm excited to do that, but it is time consuming. Even just getting the CDs onto my old laptop is gonna take some doing, but maybe I work on that while I reconfigure this dress a little bit. Also, I hurt my other elbow very badly this weekend and had to get a brace, and it's still a little swollen. So now I've evened both sides out. Have I mentioned I have zero spatial awareness? Okay. It's a couple hours later. It's 3. So it's been 2 hours. I've just been listening to podcasts, and I did add pockets, and this is the band on the bottom. I did take in the sides a little more because it was just easier than trying to unpick everything. It's just cinch it in a little more. Like, there was wiggle room, so I think it'll be okay. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, these pockets are absurd, but honestly, like, glad I took the time to do them. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. This is what the bottom looks like now, and I love this and this. Like, this on here makes this look even better, I think. I mean, I like the sleeves more now that I've cut a little bit more off because it is above my elbow now. So, like, I don't hate that, but I think having it up, I want to make it detachable. I think that's what I've decided, is making something detachable. So I have a couple different ribbon choices. This is probably like stripes that were on the sides of pant legs from the uniform store I worked at. I just like ransacked everything they had there. Because hi, if you're new around here, I love using trash for things. Something that was otherwise going to get thrown out is like my favorite material to use. We're gonna try this and see how it goes. Because, you know, I don't think it'd be the worst thing to have the option to drape it down. Say I'm sitting outside and I don't want the sun touching my shoulders anymore or my upper arms. Like, it would be nice to have this, and it's lightweight enough that, like, that'd be fine. So I think if I just do like a loose square knot and then just like tuck it under, so you're kind of just seeing the loop on top and not the like ribbon ends. I don't know, what do we think? Ooh, I do like this, and I can adjust it up and down as well. I like that a lot. Let me look in the actual mirror because you're very tiny and very far away. Yeah, I mean, I like what it's doing here. I like that it's wider than what I had before. So that is nice. Let me get the camisole off underneath, and I'm going to do some makeup hair stuff just to like let myself mentally check out a little bit more. But I got big pockets. They would be hanging below the bottom of the dress if I hadn't added the extra panel. This, I really think it elevates it. I like this a lot. I guess I don't need to sound so surprised. I can sew things. Just, I don't know. I've been having a tough go of it, obviously. There's also something to be said for like filling the time I give myself to do something, where I told myself all last week, like, I don't need to rush on this project, because I don't usually film for Friday's video until like the Monday leading up to it, unless it's a studio vlog and I'm like documenting the week prior. But stuff like this, I usually film. Yes, I did punch myself in the jaw. It's fine. Stuff like this, I usually film like the Monday of the week the video is going up. But because I gave myself all this time last week, and I took a good chunk of last week off, because, I mean, normally I do work weekends. Like, I don't take days off, which is, you know, a fun sentence to come to terms with, because I'll work in here during the week and doing whatever other stuff for other people to knock out, like if I have alterations or whatever, that's usually during the week. And my alterations nights is on a weekday, my trivia night is on a weekday. But then the weekends are usually when I'm doing events and stuff. So there's not a lot of downtime in my life, and I am trying to work on that. Where I didn't feel guilty not working on this weekend, but I kind of wish I had just waited till today to do it, because I probably would have just gotten the whole thing done in the course of today instead of spending all the days last week. I also worked on it and didn't feel like I was getting anything done. You know? I don't know if that's making any sense. I gave myself a week to do it, so it took me a week to do it. If I had only given myself today, I would have gotten the whole thing done today, I think. Oh, I like that so much. What do we think? Is this silly? I do have a bunch of lace. I don't know if that's what I want to be adding into this. And again, I don't want bows. I just want a little cinchy situation, and not stitching it down means it's fully adjustable. Like, I am liking that quality of this. Yeah. Yeah. And now I don't feel like I'm disappointing you by not having had added pockets. See what I mean? Like, I think they're at a good height. I think if I put them further up, it would have messed with, like, the effect happening here. But also, this is, like, my hands can just kind of hang down, and it's only affecting, like, the skirt part and not affecting, like, the waistline or anything. So I like it. I like it a lot. And it's not so stretched out now that, like, it looks weird. I mean, maybe it looks weird to you. I think it looks nice. How do I get in you? Oh. What do we think? I love this. Oh, it's so comfortable. Also, I went a little Beetlejuice, you know? Put my whole Beetlejuice into it. I should not be allowed. Okay, let's check out the bottom half. No feet for free on the internet. Yeah, I love how that looks. Okay, like, obviously I can never fit my body in frame, so I'm gonna put up some, like, pictures of the whole thing in one go. Like, it feels like an optical illusion. I mean, I guess it kind of is, right? Thank you so much, Charlie, for your brain working the way it does and sharing this project, because it's been quite a while since I've gotten so excited to try a technique, especially like a clothing sewing technique, like dressmaking thing. It's so fun, so innovative, and, like, truly so comfortable. And there's so many things you can do with it. I had noodled around with some, like, plaid flannel I had laying around, like buffalo plaid in particular, to kind of see how it would look. And I kind of want to make, like, a pleated skirt, like pleats at the top. Knife pleats? I don't know what you would call these. Pin tucks? There's got to be a word for it. Perhaps Charlie said what that is, but I'm blanking. And I don't know that my hair has ever been green before, but I'm not mad about that either. So I do think that's going to do it for me. Thank you for coming along on this chaotic, very emotional roller coaster of an adventure. I feel much better now that I have finished the project. I just kind of let myself noodle without any pressure or stakes. It was like, it'll get done. There's plenty of time in the day to do it. I am immediately going to go take a shower and wash all the... Actually, go in the pool first? Can I put this hair in the pool? That's my main question at the moment. I guess I don't need to worry about the chlorine in the pool turning my hair green, huh? Yeah. I don't know, this was fun. I haven't made myself a dress in a hot minute. That's not true. I made 4 dresses technically, earlier in, well, it's summer now, but in the springtime when I did my closet overhaul. I did end up making a bunch of those dresses. I just have so much more stuff to get through in my like alterations whatever pile, and this kind of like infiltrated that stack of stuff and took priority. But this was so fun to work on, and getting to add my own twist to it as well was very gratifying. Would recommend doing this project. So yeah. Well, I do have a market this weekend, so next time will probably be a studio vlog, and I will see you back here with that or something else in 2 Fridays. Thank you so much for hanging out. Do you ever get like a quote stuck in your head? Because I know I get bits of songs stuck in my head all the time, but there was this interview with Andrew Scott from Fleabag, which I rewatched for the millionth time this weekend, and he's talking about just the way people speak, and he's at this restaurant in LA, he's asking for recommendations, and the waiter goes, "I'm a whore for the ceviche," and that's all that has been looping through my head most of today. Just having this up, this is, whew, it's gonna be a time. Just gonna put this, right sides together. Let's keep this fun, you know? Like, what in the Tyrannosaurus Rex is happening up there? It's showtime.